are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times. What is going on, horror fanatics? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. As you know, I'm your host and creator of the channel, Marcus. If you have not done so already, please shoot this stream a like. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. As well as if you're a new viewer that happens to fall upon this stream, please shoot that subscribe button and that notification icon so you get all the latest content updates to the channel. I'm just getting off work, guys. Do not mind me. I'm a little, off kilter, just trying to get everything together, what have you. But welcome everyone to my fan theories reaction live stream for Scream, for Charlie and Stu, mailbox edition. I'm going to be basically going through some mail that a couple of the subscribers has sent me over the past few weeks, talking about Stu Macher and Charlie Walker being alive in the Scream franchise. As you guys are all well aware, over the last few months leading into Scream 6 and after Scream 6, I have been pushing the Charlie plane, if you will. That's what I'm dubbing it. The Charlie plane. We are flying into this bad boy with the Charlie is alive theories, and it has really picked up steam. I'm really surprised, pleasantly, that this theory is actually resonating with a lot of people, and a lot of people are really seeing where I'm coming from with that theory. It's really awesome, man. Like, I never thought when I'd start talking about that theory of Charlie Walker being alive, I thought people would think I was batshit crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and the reaction has actually been really, really well and really pleasant. And there's a lot of you out there that actually think that a lot of the stuff that I talked about Charlie being alive is very plausible. And as we already know, a lot of us here in the fan base and the community do believe Stu Macher is alive. We don't really need to discuss about that part of it. However, we are going to be discussing about Charlie and Stu possibly working together. I am going to be digging into that a little bit myself after I get through with the mailbox and stuff. I have a couple, subscribers who sent me some mail. Christopher Dunn. So, Chris, if you are in this live stream or if you come across this live stream, buddy, I'm talking about your theory here. I know it's been a few weeks since you messaged me this theory. I apologize for the delay. I got a lot going on, but hey, we're getting to it now. And as well as Alex Beebe sent me a message on Instagram, giving me a long list of his theory about Stu Macher, as well as how Charlie Walker can fit into it. So I'm really excited to get into these guys' theories and see what these guys have to say. But before I get into that, I want to see who is all here. I see we have 7 people here watching. I greatly appreciate you guys showing up. It is 1:41 in the morning here Eastern time. I know it's late night. I know it's Friday. Most of us, do have off on the weekend, but some of us don't. You know what I mean? And the fact that you guys are really taking time out of your night to hang out here with me and talk some fan theories, it's really humbling, and I really appreciate it. As well as be sure to smash that like button. As I said earlier, when I started to stream, you guys definitely helps out the YouTube algorithm a ton. As well as if you have a burning question to ask me when I'm in the middle of talking about Christopher's and Alex's theories about Stu and Charlie, and if you have a theory that you want to pitch out to me yourself that you want me to touch on real quickly, super chats go to the front of the line. I am newly monetized, so the super chat feature is available. Super stickers, all that. I will be having new super stickers out by the end of next week. I don't know exactly what super stickers YouTube has to offer there, on there yet. I haven't got a chance to look at it, but again, super chat, super stickers, all that stuff is available. I do want to point out that memberships right now aren't available. I actually got a message from YouTube saying that they updated their user policies, like their, monetization policies. And right now memberships are on hold for new monetization members. So once I get news about me being able to offer memberships, I will definitely let you guys all know about that. But let's see who's all here tonight. Got to scroll back up to the top. I am using my phone. I am excited because I'm getting my new cable box tomorrow. So then I can switch back to using my laptop, which is a lot easier, especially on StreamYard. I'm still kind of learning how to do the whole phone thing. The Spicy General Val, what is going on? How are you doing this morning? Saying good morning, y'all. Yes, good morning, Val. I'm not going to lie. I was really just going to do this as like a regular video, but then I just really gave it some thought and I'm like, man, these guys have a lot to say in their messages. Why not just do it on a live stream? It makes a lot more sense. We have a lot more time. Fitting it into a video would have took me days to do. So I just decided, let's just do it on a live stream. And I also want to pitch the idea that if any of you who are watching this stream right now have a theory or have an idea that you guys want me to touch on here or touch on in a live stream, in a future live stream, I should say, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on my socials, my email. I will leave my email in the chat box here shortly. So if you guys want me to talk about a theory and want me to keep doing these type of live streams, talking about you, the subscriber, my loyal subscribers, my loyal viewers. If you have any theories, it doesn't have to just be about Scream. It can be about Halloween. It can be about anything. Whatever horror movie you want me to talk about in terms of a theory you may have, hit me up on my socials. I wouldn't mind doing this again. I might actually make this a regular thing. I'll probably put a poll out tomorrow and let you guys vote on whether or not we should do more live streams like this, touching on you guys' theories. But again, good morning, Val. Thank you for stopping in. Bye-bye, Polar. What's going on, Polar? How you doing? Nice to see you here tonight. I did see you guys talking about, Knight's interview with James Jude Courtney earlier. Yes, that was really cool. I was so happy for Knight, and I'm very proud of him. They did him, Coriander, and Killian did such a great job with that interview. Really great job. Hopefully one day I can get James Jude Courtney on my channel as well. I actually just I just re-signed up for IMDb Pro, so I am going to be starting to reach out to some of these actors and just people in the industry in general, try to get some interviews here on the channel because I know you guys love that. And I would love to do that too. That's like one of my biggest things here about making this channel is that I wanted to interview actors, talk to the stars, even not just the stars, people behind the scenes, and all that stuff. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to adding that here to the channel as well. But Polar says, so I've been feeding the stray cat, hoping there will be a happy ending, and I'll have a new kitty soon. I have officially named it Michael Meowers. I love it. Keep that name. Please keep that name, Polar. Don't change the cat's name. That's a legendary name. My man Dino, or AKA Mofo Joe. Bro, I'm just going to call you that from now on, Dino. Mofo Joe, man. Mofo Joe in the chat. What's up, buddy? I just seen your message on Instagram too, my friend. I greatly appreciate you, man. Honestly, like, you know what I mean? I don't even got to tell you, man. I've told you plenty of times before, Dino, you're just like everybody else that's here in this chat box and has subscribed to this channel. Man, you're a loyal subscriber. You're a loyal friend, man. And I got a lot of love for you, my dude. You know that. The puppies. Puppies crying a little bit. They barking, they howling. I'm going to be sad when they go. I'm not going to lie. I have 4 puppies for sale right now, and I've already gotten phone calls about them and stuff like that. It's tough being a furry grandfather and having to give them up. Okay, so you scroll down here. I agree. Now, I was trying to listen in when he was getting to that part, Polar. I was at work, so like I could only listen to so much, so I missed exactly what he said. But I definitely do believe there was a transfer of Michael to Corey. Absolutely. Val says, but he said how he liked how they left it open so each of us could determine that for ourselves. Yeah, Yeah, that's very true. Scroll down. Good morning, Val. I'm a little bit behind the chat, so I'm just catching up. Now, you guys, just scrolling through. Wanted to catch up with all you guys. Echo Sarah, what's up, Echo? Nice to see you here this morning, man. Thank you for stopping in. Tommy Mayfield, buddy, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Nice to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Man, what's going on? Saying good evening, everyone. What is going on, man? I hope you're having a great night. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm fresh off of a 10-hour shift, and I'm just like so jazzed and so excited to talk about these theories that it doesn't even feel like it right now. Like, I feel good. I feel good about myself. Oh man, nice to know I still have some energy. Yeah, Dino, this is going to be great. It really is. And again, guys, if once we dig into it here, if you guys have any theories or anything you guys want me to touch on in a future live stream, like I said, I'm going to be releasing a poll tomorrow for you guys to vote. So if you guys vote majority yes, we can definitely do this, maybe even weekly. You know what I mean? Like, I'll pick a couple emails out, a couple messages from Instagram. Those are the best places to contact me about that, in all honesty, because I'm more on Instagram and my email than anything. No, she has not lost her mind, Carlos Sandoval. Thank you for stopping in the chat. I greatly appreciate you, my friend. I hope you're having a great night. Carlos says, now Melissa wants Sam to be Ghostface. Has homegirl lost her mind? No, she is perfectly in her right mind, my friend, and it has to happen. I want it to happen so badly. I think if they can write it correctly, it definitely can happen in a way that we can all accept it and it's digestible. I really do, and I'd love to see it happen. I am really fascinated with her character. I absolutely love the Samantha Carpenter character. Man says, I'm sleepy. Well, man, I greatly appreciate you stopping in. But hey, if you're a tired girl, get some sleep. Like, I don't want to hold anybody up. If you're tired and stuff, I understand that you can always watch the replay, and I greatly appreciate you for stopping in. Wow, man, with a 199 super chat. That is the first super chat here on the channel, you guys. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I see Val, I just see it pop up. Val, you also have a $10 super chat. I'm going to get to that here in a second. But Mayan says, congratulations on getting monetized, Marcus. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that, man, and I greatly appreciate your super chat or what have you. It's all you guys. Your support made this happen, in all honesty. Every single one of you here in the community that I conversate with, that are subscribed to this channel, every single one of you guys made this happen. I never in my wildest dreams, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, when I thought about being a content creator and I wanted to start off in sports, I never thought that I would, make it, to this level. And maybe that was just a lack of confidence and maybe just a lack of knowledge as well. But then once I transitioned into horror movies and stuff like that, focusing on that and watching Craven and everybody else, you just grow and you grow to love it and you grow that confidence, and I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'll go back all the way to my first video. My first video on this channel was a 45-minute live stream talking about Scream 5. And I go back at that live stream and I laugh because it's just like I was a deer in the headlights. Now I have some experience. Am I perfect? No. I'm most likely never going to be perfect at content creating, but I have definitely made some improvements, and you guys saw that enough to come over here and show your support. So again, man, everybody else, this is all you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you again for your super chat, man. And I actually do have a few clips here for you guys, just in case some super chats did ring in. So give me a second here. I'm going to get you a clip here. I got you one, man. There you go, man. Thank you again for your super chat. That is the first super chat to make it on the channel. That is so awesome. Yes, Val. Yes, absolutely. I know I'm a little bit behind, guys, so give me a second. And Val, I am going to grab your super chat here as well. XV Ryan, hey, what's going on? I am a new subscriber. Yes, let's go. Love it. I love that. That's awesome. He says, I am a new sub. Nice to meet you. Been watching for a while. Awesome. Hey, man, greatly appreciate the support, and I'm greatly appreciated that you are now a part of the I Shot Him 6 Times community. Greatly appreciate it, man. That's awesome. I love that. That's right. I will say that. I will say that about you, Val. Your motor, like a lot of us, your motor runs hot. Always down for a late night streams. Marcus Val says, yeah, absolutely. The consistency is very noticeable, Val. Salute, General. Okay. Okay, so give me a second here. All right, yeah, because I want to get down here to Val's super chat. Val says, yeah, I couldn't help but come and check this out as you got me on a bunch about Charlie now. Let's go. LOL, damn you, Marcus, damn you. Hey, I'm sorry. Listen, I just, especially with Scream 6 before it came out and it was around the corner, with all the Stu Macher, could he be alive? Are we going to get more Easter eggs in this film? And the possibility and the theories that were going around about characters that we thought were dead coming back. To me, Charlie always stuck out because of his knife wounds. Like, to me, I know he lost a lot of blood and all that stuff, but I always felt that he could come back from that. And Scream 6 even proved that more, not just for Stu Macher, but for Charlie Walker as well. These characters suffered way more than both Charlie and Stu combined when you really think about it. When you look at Chad and Tara, and I'm talking about Tara from Scream 5 in the opening scene, and then you look at what Chad has been through in these two films, there's no more denying to me that if they wanted to do it, not only for Stu, if they wanted to do it, Charlie can make a comeback. I definitely believe in it. And Val, hey, listen, that's what we love about doing this, though, Val, is that, ideas that we never thought possible before, making us believe in it. Just like when we were having that conversation last week on the phone, and you were schooling me about how Michael is human. You see? So this, you know what I mean? It's all love, Val. It's all love. Let's go. Charlie. Let's go. Carlos Sandoval says, really? Question mark. Yeah, man, I really do. I'll give you a quick rundown real quick, Carlos. And all I'm going to say is go back and rewatch Scream 5. Scream 6 has a little bit too, and I'm going to be doing some videos about it here in the future or whatever. But recheck Scream 5 and really watch that character. And all I'm going to say to you is this. She's with Richie Kirsch for 6 months, right? They work at the same place, everything. So it kind of seems like they're pretty close in their relationship. She had no idea what he was planning that whole time. And then there's other things as well. But again, I'm going to touch on that in later videos, my friend. But just rewatch Scream 5, I will say that, and go into it assessing Samantha's character. and then come back out of it, and then maybe let me know what you think. Hey, you still might not see nothing. You might not see what I see. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who don't, but yeah, man, let's go. She's another one. Sam too. I would love to see Sam be revealed as a mastermind Ghostface. I think it's possible, and I think it's happening. Mayan says, I love Marcus's energy. I'm in bed, but I'm here supporting. Absolutely. I greatly appreciate it, man. Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised I have this much energy right now. But that's a testament to you guys and to the community, having these conversations and all that stuff. Like I said, I just came off of a 10-hour shift, and I don't feel like it because I'm so excited to get into these theories and see what these guys have to say, as well as see what you all have to say. Okay, guys, so I'm going to go through a few more of you guys' comments, and then we are going to dig in. We are 20 minutes deep here into the live stream, and I'm not going to lie, I'm ready to bust these messages open. Carlos asks, let's be real. You think Nev will be back for Scream 7? Yep, I do. Yes, I do, Carlos. I'm very, very confident. She wants to come back, and they want her to come back. It's all about the studio giving her the money that she wants, that she feels she rightfully deserves. And in my opinion, and some may disagree, to me, she's always had that right for what she's done for this franchise. But to answer your question, yeah, I definitely do. She herself said there's still story there for Sidney Prescott. It's all about the peso, my man. Hopefully they get it done. Oh, yeah, and Val, I'm sorry. Let me give you clip 2, Val, for your chat, super chat. I'm so sorry I got, sidetracked for a second, get to the rest of these comments and stuff. Okay, let me see. Which one we got for Val? Let's see. Oh, yeah, hold on. All right. We'll go with this one.
Hey, you wanna see something cool?
Yeah, would never do that. Would never do that. That was just stupid. You know what, though? That did kind of cut off real quickly. I didn't think that was going to do that. Didn't do that when I uploaded it. So, Val, I'm actually going to give you another one. I got it. Bam.
Woo! Y'all gonna make me lose my
mind. That was better. That was better. That was a lot better. Just because it didn't cut off, too. Chocolate Ice in the chat. What's going on? What's up, buddy? Saying, I hope Stu comes back in 7. I think it's going to happen, man. I really do. I really, really do. Okay, Young Blade in the chat. Okay, so it just skipped on me real quick. So we're going to get to Young Blade's question here. Yo, Marcus, do you think Ethan killed Annika? Yeah, actually, I do. And actually, I'm going to probably be doing a re-ranking of my killers list for Scream franchise. I initially had Ethan really low on a totem pole, but now after rewatching Scream 6 and reassessing certain things, I actually think Ethan did the majority of the work in the film. And he has to get boosted up for that. So I do believe it was him who killed Annika. And actually, Jack Champion said he was in costume in that scene. So he was underneath the costume in that scene. So, yeah, it was Ethan. Now, another thing real quick to pay attention to real quick with that, this is the second straight film where our revealed Ghostface killers did a scene wearing the costume. You know how Radio Silence tried to say it doesn't matter who's underneath the costume to make the excuse for, Stu not being underneath the costume. But yet, Now, in 2 of their films, our killers who we've got revealed did a scene where they did a murder wearing the costume. Just saying. Okay, everybody. So, okay, so real quick, I see May Ann says, but he had econ at the time, so how could he? That was a lie, man. That was actually a lie. And you got to think, even though he said his alibi checked out, his dad is the cop. So of course they can easily lie and say that he was at econ. Nah, it was Ethan. And again, I definitely do now believe Ethan was the one who did the majority of the murders in the movie. And I'll say this, I think he did it to live up to Richie. That's all I'm going to say for right now until I do the video on it. XV Ryan says something about Ghostface being unmasked but still in the road that triggers goosebumps for me. Yeah. I like, especially when we get the mask off, when the masks come off. I love that. To me, that should always be the reveal, in my opinion. That's just me. Yeah. Young Blade, I would love that if he did the majority, to be honest. Yeah, man, I think it's definitely possible he did. When I go back and rewatch it, I definitely do think Ethan is the one who did the majority of the work. I really do. And I mean, and I've said it in videos leading up to the movie. You know what I mean? That he reminded me a lot of Stu Macher, like just young Matthew Lillard, just with a lot more curly hair. That's who he reminded me of, especially in the promotional pictures, when he's holding a knife and all that. When I saw that shot, I said, yeah, he looked like Stu Macher. So, and there's people who believe he's alive. I might have to dig into that theory as well sometime. Yeah, Val, I'm right there with you. Yep. Very good question, Val. I did a video about it a couple months ago, and I talked about Charlie and Kirby obviously being involved with each other, what have you. And I said their motive could be, and some people might like it, some people might not. Their motive could be is that they're pissed off because basically subsequently Samantha and Tara and the new gang is getting the notoriety that, in all honesty, they were supposed to get from Scream 4. Remember, Scream 4 was supposed to be the reboot of the original, so to speak. So it was also supposed to re-jump the Stab franchise with those characters. And that didn't happen. So they could be pissed off about that, as well as if they were involved with Jill, we know Charlie was, but if Kirby was involved with the both of them, well, their plan didn't work because Jill went rogue. See, so there's a couple things there, as well as they're Stab fans. I firmly believe that Kirby and Charlie are in this Stu Macher cult that we believe is out there. And I think they're the ones who created the Stab subreddit. And the reason why I believe that is, one, they're huge Stab fans, and two, they're more up to date with the social media times. Remember, Scream 4 really was ahead of its time when it came to that. So they would know all about making a Stab subreddit. Charlie, Cinema Club, he knows all about that stuff. Stu, he wouldn't really know about that. He's old school. He wouldn't know about running all that stuff. He would have to be taught. Not saying he couldn't learn, but Stu's old school. I couldn't see him, really being the one to start that. I think it would be somebody who is a Stab fan that is working with him. And who better than Charlie and Kirby, in my opinion? Yes, that as well. Yep, that as well. I touched on that as well, Val, about Charlie follows in Stu's footsteps as being the forgotten killer. Yes, absolutely. Another thing, too, is that, remember what Sydney said when Jill stabbed Charlie. You're right, Charlie. You're the new Stu. Trevor and you are the new Billy and Stu. So there's so many ties to these two, in my opinion. They're the perfect match. And could you imagine how brutal that movie would be if they were to be revealed as alive and as, back as Ghostface killers? Oh, man. Woo! Bloodbath. Bloodbath. And I'm all here for it. I want to see it happen. I think it can happen, and I hope it does. Would I be disappointed if it doesn't? A little. But would I hate it? Not if they give us something that makes sense and ties into 5 and 6 perfectly. But I would still see it as a missed opportunity. I definitely do think there's some meat on the bone, for Charlie and Kirby to be involved in this cult with Stu Macher. Right. Very, very well said, man. Yep. Man said, I really like Scream 4. I think it's because it was different for its time. Yeah, it was. It was advanced. That's when, the whole social media, the content creator, came into play. Well before it blew up the way it is now. But okay, everyone. We are 31 minutes deep here into this live stream. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get to unpacking. So let's start off with our first message from Christopher Dunn. He sent me this message on Gmail a couple weeks ago. And again, Chris, if you come across this stream, my friend, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you think about my reaction to your theories, my man. Take a swig real quick. Okay, he starts off saying, hello. I just want to say I am a big fan of yours. Oh, that's what's up, man. I greatly appreciate that. And I like your idea that Charlie was in New York. It did look like him. It definitely did. I am also a huge Stu Lever and wanted to share my fictional timeline I made explaining how Stu survived. He starts off September 25th through the 28th, 1996. The events of Scream happened. 28th September 1996 morning. Now, I will let you guys know that these are long, thought-out theories by both of these gentlemen. So, in between, basically, sentences, I'll be giving my thoughts. That's how I'm going to break this down. And then, guys, let me know what you guys think as well. What you think of Christopher's theory in the chat as well. Okay, so let's start off. Okay, so September 28th, 1996 morning time. Billy Loomis is killed. Stu Macher is incapacitated, but is still alive. No, I have the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission report statistics that show you have a better chance of surviving rather than dying from a CRT TV falling on top of you. Yes, I do know about that. One of my first subscribers, and Jeremy, if you run across this stream, I'm plugging you in, my friend. Jeremy Channel actually let me know about this. He gave me the statistic report about that it is a 1% chance that if that TV falls on your head, the same TV that fell on Stu Macher's head, that's a 1% chance of you dying from that. So, yeah, I have seen that, Christopher. But good stuff. Says, ask for pictures, I will gladly show you. Okay. Scroll down here. Note number 2. Stu would have died from bleeding out is a weak argument because he was only stabbed 4 times. 2 in the stomach and 1 on each shoulder. Very good point. Also, Billy did not stab Stu with the intent to kill, but merely to wound. Okay, so I will touch on that real quick, and everyone in the chat, I want you guys to let me know your thoughts on what Chris said in that statement. I'll reread it. He says, Stu would have died from bleeding out is a weak argument because he was only stabbed 4 times, 2 in his stomach and 1 on each shoulder. Also, Billy did not stab Stu with the intent to kill, but merely to wound. That part. Billy did not stab Stu with the intent to kill, but merely to wound. What do you guys think about that in the chat? Because I'm honestly 50-50 on that. And the reason why I'm 50-50 on that is because we know for a fact that even Roman said it. Billy could have really been using Stu as a pawn. He could have sold Stu out. I'm not saying that's what would have happened if they would have succeeded in their plan, but the way he stabbed Stu, like even Stu's reaction to the stabbings was pretty fierce. Like, Billy cut deep. The spots where he cut may have not left big wounds, but he still cut deep enough to where Stu was like, damn, man, like, you know, he was really feeling it. He even at one point said, I feel like I'm dying here. So I'm 50-50 on that, for me anyway, with the fact that Billy was stabbing him with the intent to only wound him and not kill him. I see it both ways. I can see where you could say he was only trying to wound him because that was part of their plan. But I could also see it from the other side to where he actually was trying to kill him so that he could be the lone survivor. I could definitely see that as well. And frame all the murders on Stu. Which is why Billy was cutting him so deep. Even though the placement wasn't great of the stab wounds, the fact of the matter is he still was cutting Stu deep enough to where Stu, he was reacting, like I said, fiercely to it. He did not like the way Billy was stabbing him. So I'm 50-50 on it, on that one. What do you guys think in the chat? Let's see what you guys got to say. Yep, that is true as well. And Val, if you want to go grab that link from Craven's channel and share it here in the chat, definitely do so. So anybody who's a new subscriber, like our good friend Ryan here, who has not seen Craven's Stu Macher trial video live stream, they can go check it out. Definitely plug that in if you can, Val. I agree. I agree with that, Ryan. Ryan says, I always thought he did more damage than they planned due to Stu's reaction. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like Jill with Charlie. You know, like, right. That's right, Val. Val says, me too, Marcus. Stu even says he's getting a little woozy, which to me means he's going downhill from the stabs. Yeah, those stabs were deep. Like, it wasn't, like I said, the placement wasn't great, but Billy was getting him. He was getting him good. Okay, so let's see what else. Yep, that's right. Yep, Marcus blames Stu for the yeah, absolutely. Oh no, that's no good, Echo. That's no good at all. God bless. I hope nobody is severely hurt. That's never a good sign. I know about that all too well myself, unfortunately. No bueno. I hope everybody is safe. I hope nobody got hurt. Man, that's sad. Okay, so let's get back and thank you, Val. Thank you very much. Val coming in saying, please make sure to smash that like button. Yes, absolutely. Please smash that like button if you have not done so already. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And as well, as I said a little bit earlier, as I'm breaking down Christopher and Alex's theories about Stu Macher and Charlie Walker, if you have a theory or a question you desire, like you really want to ask me, and I'm like going in on these, messages, and you want me to answer them, send in a super chat. Super chats go into the front of the line. I will try to get to you guys' comments as best as I can as well, just regular comments as well as I'm going along in these theories, in these messages. Okay, so let's get back to it here. Scroll back up. Okay, so we'll start back off with the merely intent to wound. Okay, well, Stu said it himself that he thought he was dying. My argument against that is that Stu was just over-exaggerating and that he wouldn't really know if he was dying because he had never been stabbed before. Okay. I don't think Stu was exaggerating. I definitely think he felt those knife wounds. I don't think he was over-exaggerating at all. I really don't. I think that he was definitely hurt. And you got to think about this, man. Just because you've never been stabbed before, your instant, like when you do get stabbed or when you get shot, your brain instantly, as a human being, goes to the thought, are you going to die in that instance? Doesn't matter if you've never been shot or stabbed before or not. If you get shot or stabbed, in that moment, you are wondering, especially if you see yourself losing a lot of blood, you are instantly wondering if you were going to die in that moment. So, Chris, I disagree with that, my friend. I humbly disagree. I think that Stu definitely was feeling the effects of the punishment that he took from those knife wounds. What do you guys think about that in the chat? Do you guys think that Stu was over-exaggerating his stab wounds? Or do you guys agree with me that you guys, that he wasn't over-exaggerating, that he felt that? Because, yeah, I just like to think as, that's like the first thing that would go to my mind. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself. And God forbid that ever happens. But if that were ever happen where I were to get stabbed, especially as I see myself losing a good bit of blood, yeah, my first thought would probably be most likely, am I going to die in this moment? So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you guys think Stu was over-exaggerating his injuries? Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, there we go. There it is, guys. Val put that link in the chat. If you are a new subscriber to this channel, or if you are a returning subscriber who are not for some reason subscribed to Craven Something goodness gracious. If you are not subscribed to my good friend Craven Something Scary, get over there, subscribe to his channel, as well as click on that link and watch that video, that live stream. They did such a fantastic job laying out all the clues and all the cases as to why Stu Macher is alive. Memo Boy in the chat. Hey, what's up, my friend? Saying, good morning, Markets. It's 8 a.m. here, drinking coffee. How are you? What are you guys talking about? Well, my friend, I am actually going over Scream fan theories by a few of our fellow subscribers here on the channel. basically going into the mailbox. So I'm going to probably be doing a little bit more of these here down the line as well. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm going to leave a poll for you guys in the morning, letting you guys vote on that. If you guys would like more live streams, me touching on your messages, your mail that you guys leave me, talking about theories for stream or anything, I'm definitely down to do more live streams like these. Philip Morgan in the chat as well. What's going on, Phil? How you doing? Hope you're having a great night. Thank you for stopping in. Right, exactly. Right, Val. I agree. Val saying no, no, no. When you're starting to die. Absolutely. I agree. Like I said, as soon as you see blood come profusely at that coming out of your body, your first instinct is to think you're going to die. I mean, I'd like to think so anyway. Right. Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think he was hurting bad as well. Philip saying, I don't think it was a mix of both. Okay. Yeah, I about to say, I caught that, Philip. Yeah. Philip saying, I meant to say, I think it's a mix of both. Okay. Philip thinks that he's over-exaggerating as well as not over-exaggerating. So, I can see where some would say maybe he was over-exaggerating because Stu, especially in that final act scene, he was an over-exaggerated comedian in that scene. In that whole final act. But in that moment, I personally don't think so. Echo says, no, I think Stu was feeling it. He got stabbed. I forgot how many times, 4 total times, and was losing blood. He was feeling it. Yeah, I agree. Those, like I said, Billy cut him pretty deep. Okay, so Memo Boy asks, Marcus, why did Sydney take Mark and the kids to a safe place in Scream 6 when Gail said that to Sam and Tara? Sydney is not in New York. Well, I think the reason why that was said like that is because they don't know how many are out there. And if they're coming after Samantha and the gang, Sydney was involved with them in Scream 5. So maybe she might think a killer might try to make it out to her way. That's what I took from that. I think also it was just also a thing of bad writing because they had no other way to explain why she isn't there. Because when you really think about it, when you put the motive of Bailey and you hear what he said, anybody who has anything to do with my son's death suffers and dies. Sydney counts in that sentence too because she was involved. So they just, in all honesty, I just think they just really, that was the only way they could write around it. That's it. Yep, she lives in Chicago, which is interesting, though. And this is what is so fascinating about the family, is that Radio Silence said they're from the Midwest. Midwest isn't California. That's Western. Midwest, Illinois, is part of the Midwest. And that's apparently where Richie and his family are from. I found that very interesting. Okay, so let's get back into Chris's theory here. Okay, so, yep, let me get back. All right, yep, I have it highlighted right here. Okay, note number 3. An alternate script for Scream 3. had Stu returning as the main antagonist. Yep, we know that. Yep. Stu is taken to a hospital and surgery is done to get him back into stable condition. The surgery is a success. Note, I have pictures that are possible or could be fake, deleted scenes showing an EMT putting a neck brace on Stu Macher at the end of the movie. EMTs would only do this if the person was still alive. Ask me for the pictures. Yeah, Chris, I'm going to end up sending you an email because I don't see you in the chat. And I should have just sent you the link to this earlier, but unfortunately, like I said, I was at work, so I was pretty busy. But yeah, I'm gonna need those photos. Excuse me. I'm definitely gonna need those photos. What do you guys make of what Chris said about? Apparently, there are photos. He doesn't know if they're fake or real, but apparently, at the end of the movie, an EMT is putting a neck brace on Stu Macher. And he makes a really interesting point. If those pictures are real, the only reason an EMT would be putting a neck brace on Stu Macher is if he was alive. It's very, very good job. It's very good work, Chris. Definitely send me those pictures, man. I got to see them. I got to see them. Now, keep in mind, they might be fake, and I'm glad that you put that in here as well, Chris. But I want to see it. I want to see that. You're going to have me go back and stream 1996 and see if we can see, to some degree, maybe Stu being carried out of the house after Dewey. I don't think it is, but you're going to make me look, man. Gonna make me look. Okay, so let's get back. So, but real quick, I'm going to check on you guys' comments. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to reread it again. I have pictures that are possible or could be fake, deleted scenes showing an EMT putting a neck brace on Stu Macher at the end of the movie. EMTs would only do this if the person was still alive. Ask me for the pictures. What do you guys think about that? Do you think the pictures that he's talking about are real or fake? Well, let me get back. Thank you, Philip. Thank you. I plan on getting some merch out here to you guys really soon, honestly. When I got this shirt in the mail, I was going to basically release everything then. But then when I unpacked the shirt and I'm examining it, I realized there was a mistake made by the production team. One side, on the back of the shirt, I have a quote of Billy Loomis with the corn syrup quote. And on the bottom of it, it says Billy Loomis Scream 1996. One side has 3 bullets. The other side has another 3 bullets to obviously, signal the channel, whatever, the logo of the channel. And one side of the bullets is way bigger than the other to where it overlaps some of the lettering in Billy's name. So I don't want to, publish merchandise out there that's not 100% like correct, I should say. You know what I mean? Like that's not everything that I want it to be in it. It looks like up to par, even everything, evened out all that. So I definitely plan on having some merch for you guys to dig into as well. If you guys would like to purchase some merch from my merch store and all that, but I'm kind of holding it off because I have to do some editing yet, as well as I want to add some more designs. I have some killer designs like put to the side that I'm going to be, putting into the merch store. Thomas Clark in the chat. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for stopping in. Saying, here's my thought. Stu was in 5 during Dewey's death. Also, when Mindy gets attacked. Okay. There was no way Richie could grab the beers after running away from Sam, due to Amber and Tara showing up. It's a really good point. I mean, but also, he could have stashed a beer somewhere. He could have just stashed the beers to make it look like, you know what I mean, he went to get the beer. I mean, but I will say this, Thomas. I think the unknown caller who called the house, I think that was Stu. The phone call Richie didn't want to answer. I think that was Stu. Oh, this is another thing, though, Thomas, is that Jack Quaid actually played that part in that scene of attacking Mindy. He was underneath the costume. So it was definitely Richie. Almost forgot that they did come out with that after the film came out. They said that. Okay, so let's get to more of you guys' comments real quick before I get to more of his theory. Oh, I'll have to go back and rewatch that scene because I didn't catch it. But at the same time, like I said, I mean, Jack Quaid was underneath the costume in that scene. So that tells me it was Richie. And being that Richie had all the masks and all the memorabilia, it would not surprise me if Richie would try to emulate previous Ghostface killers, the way they would stab and all that stuff. I think if somebody wanted to make that argument, they could. I'll say that. But you make a good point, though. I'll have to go back and rewatch that scene because I really didn't pay attention to it. The only time I really caught the killer with the two hands on the knife was with Quinn Bailey's scene in Scream 6. Okay. So let's get back into Chris's theory. Oh, wow. I don't know why I did that. It went all the way down. I didn't even do that. I didn't press something. Okay. So, okay. Now I'm back to where I was. Okay. So he later states, he says, later in the day, after being called, Stu's parents returned to Woodsboro to find their son comatose in a hospital bed. Note, there is a theory that Stu's parents were divorced and that Stu stayed with one parent while Leslie stayed with the other. Sydney most likely never met Leslie if she met Stu after his parents' divorce. Huh. That's interesting. And the reason why that's interesting, and I'm going to have to go back and Scream 96 and look at the board that is in Stu's kitchen, but I'm pretty sure it says, we're sorry for leaving. And it says other stuff, I think like food, money for food or whatever, something like that his parents left on the board. So if it says, we're sorry, you know what I mean? Then that tells me his parents are together. Now, could it be one of the parents, they are divorced and one, now the other is in a relationship? Yeah, that definitely could be the case. But I personally don't think if that is on that board, that would be the case. I really don't. I think that his parents definitely did live at that house. Like, I don't think his parents were divorced. I could be wrong, but I'll have to go back and look on that board. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that Stu's parents are divorced? And that Leslie stays with one parent and Stu stayed with the other? Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. I'm gonna get to it here in a second. I'm gonna keep going on here with Christopher's theory. He continues to say Stu's mother sits down beside her son's bed. his father standing right beside her. "We're sorry, son. We should have been there for you more," the woman says as she holds her son's hand and kisses it. Okay, so let's kind of park it there for a second, as my good friend Craven Something Scary would like to say. Um, this is where I have an issue with that kind of being like that, with his parents, like his mom being all like, "Oh, we're sorry we weren't there for you," and all that stuff. Like, I'm not saying they wouldn't be like that, but even Stu himself said when his family, when his parents would find out, when his mom and dad would find out about him being a killer, he even said they're going to be so mad at him. So I just can't see his mother being that receptive towards him, like, "Oh, I'm sorry we weren't there for you," like basically placing the blame on themselves. I can't see that. You know, I really can't. As well as, you got to look at it as this way too, man, is that Stu being a killer, if his family is like, which we know they have money, so they have some wealth, which lets me know they are pretty well known. Stu becoming a killer kind of sabotages them a little bit, you know, in terms of their businesses, you know, their business dealings. People might look at them differently. So, me personally, I don't think his mom would be all that receptive to him like that. I think what he said about his parents being mad at him, I can see that. I really can. Especially when I'm looking at it from the fact that they seem to be like kind of rich, kind of have some money, you know. So, yeah, I don't agree with that one, buddy. I don't agree with that take about Stu's mom basically coddling him. You know, that's what it sounds like to me anyway. What do you guys think about that in the chat? That's right. See, Val says, "I live in Wisconsin, the Midwest. Chicago is only 90 miles from me. It is in the Midwest." Yes, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. If he sends me the pictures, I'm doing a whole live stream about it. I'm doing a whole live stream discussion about it. That's something you got to do a live stream for, in my opinion. To me, that would take me entirely too long to break that video down and share my thoughts. I'd have to go off the cuff like I am, you know, now. Val says that could be a possibility, Marcus. We know Craven 1 and Stu and 3. Yeah, absolutely. Memo Boy says, "Not sure about it. I think it's fake." Hey, it's very possible. It is very possible that those photos could be fake. But that is a good thing that Chris did mention that in his message here to me. He made that point be clear that they could be fake. However, there's nothing wrong with doing a little investigating, Memo Boy. I'm ready to dig into it. So, Christopher Dunn, if you come across this stream anytime while I'm on right now, or if you watch the replay, I'm going to send you the link after I'm done tonight. You know what I mean? Send me those pictures on Instagram, my friend, or in the email. Yeah. Ooh, whoa, yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could be a deleted scene. Oh, that makes me want to look it up. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait because I got a lot more to unpack. I'm going to wait. Okay. So let's get back into his theory. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do from from this point on is I'm just going to zoom through his theory or whatever and stuff like that because it is long and I do want to kind of zoom through it and get to the next one and stuff like that because it is getting late and I don't want to keep everybody up too late till we get to the good parts. You know what I mean? And stuff, what have you. So I want everybody who's here, all 15 of you, I want you guys to catch this and catch what Christopher is saying in his theory. And I would like you guys' take on it. Okay, so let's get back into it here. Okay. October 31st, 1996, Halloween. Stu is still in a coma. Note, Stu being in a coma explains why he was inactive all these years. Excuse me. Okay. So real quickly, I don't think Stu is in a coma. I don't. I think Stu, if anything, would be in jail. That's my take on that. Is it possible he could have been in a coma? Yes. But this is the issue you have to think about with dealing with comas. He might not, when he wakes up, he might not remember anything. He might have amnesia. He might not even remember he's Stu Macher. He might not remember that he's a serial killer. That's the issue I have with the coma. You know, him being in a coma. Okay. So he goes on to say, note number 2. There is a theory that Roman disguised himself as an EMT and switched Stu's body with another's after the events of Scream 1996. I like this theory, but in my timeline, Stu was taken to the hospital by actual EMTs. Yeah, I mean, me personally, it's not impossible to think. I just don't think Roman knew who Stu was. I really don't. Because when you go back and watch Scream 3, he basically talks about exclusively talking to Billy and basically telling Billy to get himself a partner to sell out if he wants to frame. So the way I look at it is like this. Why would Roman help Stu if he was basically setting Stu up to be the fall guy, just like basically giving Billy the idea to set Stu up as the fall guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me wouldn't make any sense. So, yeah, I'm out on the whole Roman as the EMT theory. Anybody who believes that, hey, you're entitled to your beliefs and your opinion. You know, I'm not knocking it. I'm just reacting to it. You know, me personally, I don't think it makes much sense. Okay, so he goes on to say Billy's funeral and burial have already passed. Sydney herself even visits Stu while comatose. See, okay. See, I know I said I'm going to zoom through it, but I will give you this, Chris. And this is the beautiful thing about theories, is they're just theories. They're just thoughts. You know what I mean? And even though I disagree with some of these, you're giving me good content to pick apart. And I like that. So, good job. Yeah, man. All right. So I'll ask you guys this in the chat. Do you guys really believe Sydney will go visit Stu Macher in the hospital after he tried to kill her? I don't. Like, that's a stretch to me. Like, what would she have to gain by doing that? You know? Really, what would she have to gain by doing that? She wouldn't have to gain nothing. I cannot imagine Sidney Prescott. The only thing I could see her going to the hospital for is to finish the job. It's to kill him. That's it. I could not see her going to check on Stu while he's in the hospital after he just tried to kill her. Maybe that's not what he's trying to say. Let me keep reading what he's saying. Sip some Sunny D real quick, gotta, vitamin D. Gotta, what I mean? Keep all, vitamin C. I'm wrong. Fuck, how did I fuck that up? I've been drinking this for years. Anyway. Gotta keep the energy flowing. Okay, so get back down here. Okay, Sydney herself even visits Stu while comatose. Sydney speaks with the doctors about his chances of waking up, but the doctors are unsure if he ever will. For all intents and purposes, Stu is dead to Sydney. He is no longer a concern to her. The newspapers are sold out. Everyone has read about the two high school teens turned murderers, although Billy is mentioned considerably more than Stu. Billy is mentioned as being the mastermind behind all of the attacks. Stu's parents do not participate in Trick or Treat this year. They witness people dress up as Ghostface for Halloween. Some stand outside their house cheering, while others throw litter all over their front yard. That makes sense. One of the persons in a Ghostface costume stands unmoving while staring at the Mocker house. This Ghostface may be Roman, coming to see where Billy had died. Note, this Ghostface potentially being Roman is an Easter egg to the theory that Roman was in Scream 1996 as the Ghostface spying on Sydney and hit him at the supermarket at Sydney's house. Okay, so I'm going to get to some of you guys' comments, and I want to know what you guys think about that. About Roman Bridger possibly standing outside of Stu Macher's house on Halloween night, 1996, as Chris is saying here in his theory. Listen, I get it. I get that there is a theory out there that Ghostface who was, basically outside of Sydney's house creeping on her and Tatum through the bushes could have been Roman Bridger. I'm not saying it wasn't. But at the same time, I still think it could have just either been Stu or Billy. It easily could have been one of those two. Easily. That's the beautiful thing about having multiple killers. One could be here, the other could be there. And again, for me personally, I don't think Roman knew who Stu Macher was. I just don't. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. I don't see it. And then you got, what would Roman, have to gain? My thing is this, okay. So if Roman knew about Stu Macher and was basically going to help Stu moving forward, why wouldn't Wes Craven or Kevin Williamson, who wanted to bring Stu back, why didn't they just have it be Stu and Roman be revealed as the killers for the third film then? Why decide to make it a cult of Stu Macher Ghostface killers? Why make it a cult of people working with Stu anyway? You could have just easily had Roman and Stu be revealed. So I personally, I don't know. I don't think Roman knew who Stu was. Okay, so let me get to some of you guys' chats. I believe so too, Val. Val saying, I think Stu's parents were married. I agree. Right, I agree. Well, but at the same time, there has been, people like to live lavish, man. You would be surprised with one person lives in a mansion. One person can live in a mansion by themselves. So, I mean, it's not entirely impossible that just because, that house is huge, that doesn't mean that there's not just one parent there. There definitely could just be one parent. Mrs. Mocker likes to live lavish. We have 16 people watching. Guys, if you have not done so already, please shoot that like button. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. I greatly appreciate you all hanging out with me here on this super late night stream, discussing some fan theories, mailbox edition. Hear from some loyal subscribers. Like I said earlier in the stream, if you guys have a theory about any movie, Saw, Scream, whatever, Halloween, if you have a theory that you want me to talk about on a live stream, I would definitely love to do more of these. So hit me up on my socials, hit me up on my Instagram, and hit me up on my email. And speaking of which, now let me a second here because I didn't do it earlier. Let me see if I can comment here. There we go. Okay. There we go. So, guys, there goes my email account. If you guys, like I said, have a theory about any movie that you want me to talk about on a live stream, we can definitely make that happen. Even if it takes me a little bit, a couple weeks to get to it, just know I will get to it at some point and we will definitely discuss it. Scroll down here to the chats, as well as if you have a burning question that you want to ask me while I'm going through these theories, discussing, Christopher Dunn and Alex's theories, these, messages that they have left me. If you have a theory or a burning question that you want to ask me, send in a super chat. Super chats go at the front of the line. I greatly appreciate all your support, guys. Honestly, 17 people now watching here at almost 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I love you guys. Like, honestly, this is such a good time. And my energy levels are still high, so no worries. We still got a good bit to go. Okay, so real quick, Jamie Hart in the chat. What's going on, Jamie? How are you doing tonight? I know I'm a little bit behind. Jamie's saying, yay, Sunny D. Yup, that's right. That's right. This bad boy's, keeping me steady. That is right. That is right, Val. Need that juice. Need that OJ in the morning. That's right. Two Boys in there. Scary Pops. What is going on, Two Boys? Thank you for stopping in. I hope you're having a great night. I hope you're not too tired, my friend. Could we get the core four and a few friends taking in an amusement park? Ooh. Ooh. That's different. I actually kind of like it. It's weird. I didn't think I'd like that. I actually kind of like it. Okay, so Two Boys says, could we get the core four and a few friends taken in an amusement park and Stu and his cult pick them off one by one, leading to a final showdown? See, I wouldn't mind that, Two Boys, but I think just for the nostalgia and the history of the franchise, I feel like if we're going to have Stu Macher revealed, as well as maybe with Charlie Walker and whoever else is going to be revealed, it has to be done in Woodsboro. It's the history, it's the legacy, all that. Like, it just, to me, would feel so full circle if they brought it back to Woodsboro and then revealed Stu to be alive. That's me. I like the amusement park theory, though. I like that. It's different. You imagine Ghostface, getting on the Ferris wheel? Chase. Whoa, wait a minute. Ghostface getting on the Ferris wheel and throwing somebody off of it. Damn. I'm all for it. Hey, Dino, man. Buddy, listen. You get some rest, man. You rest up and you feel better. I'd rather you do that than be in a chat, my friend. Honestly, I appreciate your support, man. I appreciate you hanging tough and showing your love and support to the channel. But bro, I want you to be 100% healthy, my friend. So if you're not feeling good, my man, get some rest. You know what I mean? Because I see you saying you're having the flu. Yeah, bro, get some rest, man. That's never fun. I hate having a flu. I'm not even going to lie to you. I feel like I'm getting a little sick myself, just like kind of like a little cold because the change in weather. Like one day here in York and PA, it's like 70, 75 degrees. And then the next, that same night, it's like back down to 40 degrees. And it's like, and then the next day, it'll stick in the 40s or the 50s. It's like the change in weather will do it, man. The change in the seasons. But Dino, get some rest, my friend, and I hope you feel better, man. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way down here because I know I'm mad behind. Val saying Roman wasn't in Scream 96. Have to remember it was a year after he got Billy to kill Marine. Why would he come back to town to watch Billy kill the others? Great point. Really good point, Val. I like that. Really, really good point. I agree with that. Jamie Hart saying, no, it was Billy and Stu alone. Roman didn't even know Billy was going to make a movie of his own. That's another good point as well, Jamie. Yes, that is true. Yeah, he just said all the kid needed was a few pointers, and that's all Roman did, was give him a few pointers. Okay, so let's get back into Chris's theory here. Scoot in a little bit. Okay, so yep, all right. Good thing I highlighted it so I'm not lost. Okay. Note number 2. There is a theory that Roman was also the Ghostface in the bathroom that attacked Sydney. I personally do not believe this theory. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Chris. I don't believe that theory neither. Excuse me. Excuse me again. I don't believe that theory. I think that it was one of the just somebody fucking with her. That's who I believe. Just somebody trying to scare her, like when they ran through the hallway scene screaming with the costume on. Okay, so note number 3. I have a theory. I have a theory that Billy and Stu paid the kids at school to do Ghostface pranks. I believe they did this so that after Billy and Stu killed Principal Hembry, the pranksters would be the first suspects on the police radar. This would allow Billy and Stu more freedom to finish off their plan without any hindrance. I like that theory. I don't think it's impossible. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea on Billy and Stu's part. I like that theory. What do you guys think about that? I'll reread it. Note number 3. I have a theory that Billy and Stu paid the kids at school to do Ghostface pranks. I believe that they did this so that after Billy and Stu killed Principal Hembry, the pranksters would be the first suspects on the police's radar. This would allow Billy and Stu more freedom to finish off their plan without any hindrance. Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. Okay, so let's get to this next one here. He continues by saying, that night, Stu's parents discuss that if their son ever wakes up from his coma, he will likely be found guilty in a trial and possibly face prison time. That night, Stu's parents devise a plan to fake their son's death. Note, Quinn having her death fake in Scream 6 could be her imitating Stu since she considers him his idol, her idol, Ghostface. Okay. Okay, so this is where I have trouble with this one. Is how are the parents getting him out of the hospital? How are they going to fake his death, especially if he's in a coma? If Stu's in a coma and unresponsive, like, the only way I can see that working is if they hired a doctor to say that Stu was dead and he's not dead. They give them all the medical stuff, IVs, all that they need to keep him alive at home. And they basically get away with it that way. But even that, I think even that is just too convoluted. I'm not feeling that one. I really ain't. I really think it would make a lot more sense if Stu was in jail and he faked his death in prison. I talked about this, about the pulse, stopping his pulse like Roman did in Scream 3 and stuff like that. Him and Charlie, I talked about that. Okay, so let's move on here. November 1996. Holy crap, we got a lot to go through here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do, guys, because Chris has a lot of dialogue. So I'm literally going to read the entire rest of his script, as you will. I'm going to read the entirety of it, and then I'm just going to share my thoughts after that. I ain't going to lie, man. Whew, Chris, I give you credit, man. You wrote a lot, bro. I give you credit for patience. I don't even know if I could write this long, honestly. And I like to talk and write about stuff. I just more or less like to talk about it, Okay. Let's get back down here. November 1996. Stu's parents finalized their plan. They even called Nancy Loomis for help, knowing they would need a lot of money for this to work. But see, that's the thing. They would need a lot of money, maybe, but they would have it. I would think anyway. You look at that house. He says, no, I chose November as the month they enact their plan because I figured that's plenty of time for Stu's parents to set everything up. Yeah, but see, then again, this is my thing, though, too, about them calling Nancy Loomis. Why would they call the mother of why would they call the mother of the guy that basically sucked their son into this entire thing? I don't think they would do that. I really don't. I think if anything, they might despise Nancy Loomis because her son made their son into a killer. Or at least encouraged him, peer pressure, like Stu said. Yeah, I'm not on that one. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't. I don't see there being no point for Stu's parents to call Nancy. I don't get it messed up. I got my Coca-Cola here too. Caffeine. Got to have that caffeine. Stay up anyway. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna restart it. Stu's parents finalized their plan. They even called Nancy Loomis for help, knowing they will need a lot of money for this to work. No, I chose November as the month they enact their plan because I figured that's plenty of time for Stu's parents to set everything up. Note number 2, Scream 6 points out everyone thinks Stu's dead in 1996, so their plan must happen before the year's over. Nancy, knowing how close Billy was to Stu, agrees to help. Stu's parents have their son transferred out of the hospital and into another secure location, hidden away. Well, okay, let me just keep going. It's been set up to where they can continue to treat him as need be. His parents, along with Leslie Mocker, his sister, spending time looking after Stu when they can. They pay people off to keep quiet about the situation. Their money, along with Mrs. Loomis, is enough to pull it off. Note, Stu's parents may also have had incriminating evidence against some of the people of Woodsboro and blackmailed them into keeping silence about faking their son's death. A coroner is paid off to write Stu a fake death certificate. Note, coroner possibly played by Tony Todd. Ha! 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 I like it. Okay. Hey, I'm not going to complain if Tony Todd comes into a Scream movie. I would love it. That caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. But no, coroner possibly played by Tony Todd. This is a nod to Tony's role in Final Destination. Yeah. They even pay to have a fake funeral, making it a closed casket so nobody can see that it's empty inside. Scream 1998, Scream 2. No, a deleted scene for Scream 2's ending reveals that a third Ghostface was going to be watching Sidney from the top of a bell tower. It is speculated that this was either Stu or Roman. I would like to think it's Roman because of my fictional timeline. Stu was still comatose at this point in time. Note number 2. There's a photo of this Ghostface on the top of the bell tower. Ask me for the photo if interested. Yeah, send me that. I'm also going to probably look up and see if I can find that deleted scene as well. Yeah, Chris, if you come across the stream, man, and which you most likely will, because I'm going to send you the link anyway. Yeah, let me get those photos, all those photos that you have, and we will talk about it and pick through it. 1st of October, 2011. Jill's final scare. Sidney shocks Jill with defibs to her head. Jill, however, gets back up and is stopped by Sidney with a gunshot to the heart. Note, Jill surviving the defibs to the head is an Easter egg by Wes Craven that Stu Macher survived the electrocution from his TV. You can make that assumption. September 29th. Hold on. Okay, September 28th, 2019. Post Scream 2, 3, and 4. Stu miraculously awakens from his coma after 23 years. The anniversary of Billy's death. Note, 23 years is a nod to the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers who sleeps every 23 years. Note number 2. Stu being in a coma for so long is inspired by Sarah Scantlin, who in real life was put into a coma for 20 years after being hit by a drunk driver. Note number 3. Also inspired by Elaine Esposito, who died after more than 37 years in a coma. His parents are beyond joy, but like Stu said, they are mad at him, though. January through March 2022, pre-Scream 5. Stu has been recuperating for the past 28 months. In the beginning, being unable to talk and walk straight, but eventually learning how to do both again. After the first time looking in a mirror since waking up, Stu sees his horribly scarred face. He is shocked and startled. After the first time looking in a mirror since... Oh, no, I've reread that. He is shocked and startled. Stu spends most of his time online. he's not really able to get back out in public due to him being officially dead. He has snuck out a couple times, though, being careful to wear disguises each time. His first time sneaking out was him visiting his former best friend Billy's grave. This causes him to go into a depression over Billy's death. He also notes Nancy Loomis's tombstone beside Billy's. No, that was not Stu in the background at the party in Scream 2. He was in a coma. It is just an Easter egg from Matthew Lillard. Oh, okay. He reads about all the Ghostface attacks that have happened over the years. Surprised that Sidney has made it out alive in every single one of them. He suddenly has a flashback of Sidney dropping the TV on his head. This infuriates him. He meets a young man online one day named Richie Kirsch, and they instantly click as a good online buddies. No, possibly met online in the same forums Nancy Loomis met Mickey Altieri. Very true. That's possible. Very possible. Yeah, real quick, I doubt that though, because I think Nancy explains exactly, like almost close to anyway, which site she found Mickey on, and it wasn't a stab subreddit. Okay, so no, possibly met him online in the same forums as Nancy Loomis met Mickey Altieri. Richie's favorite movie is Stab 1. Richie is surprised to find out that this person knows so much about the original Stab and about Billy and Stu, even things one shouldn't possibly know about the original two Ghostfaces. Stu eventually reveals his true identity to Richie. They then decide to enact a master plan, and Amber, Richie's girlfriend, is brought along to join, having met Richie sometime before online as well. Stu looks into the same mirror he had before and sees his horribly scarred face once again. He punches and breaks the glass, the shards falling to the ground in dozens of pieces. It was time for him to don the mask once again. Their plan is to make a great movie and to bring it back to the original formula, due to recent horror movies becoming too crappy and Hollywood running out of ideas. As Richie said, Hollywood's totally out of ideas, and we decided to give him some new source material to follow. Bring it back to basics. Sidney is also the target, as Stu has a score to settle with her. Richie meets and infiltrates Sam's life. Note, Sam said she knew Richie for 6 months, so everything above happened any time between January through March 2022. Stu already knows who Sam is and has big plans in store for her. If you ask me, they have big plans in store for everybody else, but that's for a later conversation. September 2022. The events of Scream 5 happen. Tara receives a phone call from Ghostface. There is a theory this was possibly Stu. No, Ghostface gets very infuriated after Tara fails to mention Stu as Billy's accomplice in the 1996 killings. To me, it seems like Ghostface took that response very personal. Vince Snyder, Stu's nephew, is introduced. Vince has a bad boy attitude, feeling neglected ever since his mom spending too much time looking over her brother Stu instead of focusing on her own son. Vince is killed by Richie. Stu is unaware of it at this moment in time. No, the reason Richie killed Vince is because he threatened Chad, even pulled a knife out on him. Richie felt Vince was a loose cannon and did not want him or anyone else killing Chad. Richie wanted to be sure that him and Amber killed Chad and everyone else as a part of their movie. Okay? Stu secretly kills Dewey in order to get Sidney back to Woodsboro. No, main piece of evidence suggesting Stu killed Dewey is when Tara knocks Ghostface down and he makes a male grunt sound. It is not the voice changer turning the grunt sound into a male's, because shortly after getting up and walking out of the room, Ghostface just now turns his voice changer on. And the camera even makes a point of this by focusing in on it. This means his voice changer was off when he was knocked down and made the male grunt sound. Very true. No, the directors could have simply edited out the male grunt or had Ghostface already have the voice changer on and not include the VC being turned on scene. But they chose to keep them in as secret hints. I agree with that. In terms of, the whole voice modulator and the male grunt. Note number 3. In an original script for Scream 1996, Dewey was originally supposed to die after Stu stabbed him in the back. Note number 4. Dewey was gutted the same way. Stu described how to do the act way back in Scream 1996. Amber is told to take credit to hide Stu, a third killer, involvement. Sometime later in the movie, Stu discovers it was Richie who had killed Vince that night at the bar. Furious that Richie would betray him like that and kill one of his family, leaves both him and Amber out to dry in the third act. Richie and Amber, realizing that Stu knows the truth about Vince, change their plans and decide to kill Sam Carpenter. No, the original plan was to have Sam as the hero who saves the day. Just how Billy and Stu were going to be seen had their plan gone the way they wanted back in Scream 1. Richie and Amber are being abandoned by Stu, eventually fail the plan and are both killed. Stu decides not to go after Sydney himself just yet, still having past thoughts about the trauma she did to him. Going after Dewey was one thing. He'd beaten Dewey before, when he stabbed Dewey in the back in 1996, almost killing him then. But Sydney is a whole nother level. A different breed. She has survived multiple Ghostface attacks, and Stu is not yet sure if he can defeat her. He decides to lay low for the time being. No, the Ghostface at the end of the movie in Scream 5 doing the knife swipe could be a hint at Stu, as he is the original one to do it. October 2023. The events of Scream 6 happen 1 year after Scream 5. Stu spends his time trying to track down where Sydney lives. He is beginning a new master plan, but first needs to discover where she is. No, there is a theory that Stu was the one who actually attacked Gail in her apartment in New York. In my timeline, however, this is not so because Richie killed Vince. Stu's nephew, Stu, would be against Richie's family for this act. He would not work with them. No. Number 2, in the police station on Kirby's board about previous ghost faces, Mickey and Nancy's deaths are listed as in 1997. However, Scream 2 took place in 1998, suggesting Kirby is wrong and has misinformation about some of the ghost faces. This means she can have misinformation about Stu's quote-unquote death. It's a good catch. I like that. Note number 3. Kirby pushed Stu's TV a good distance, suggesting that this did not weigh that much. This makes it more plausible that Stu could have survived it falling on top of his head. Note number 4. When Kirby says the TV that killed Stu Macher, Mindy replies, "If you really believe he's dead," implying that there's a legitimate theory that people believe he is still alive. Note number 5. Kirby's fake wig is maybe a nod at Stu's death being fake. This was mostly for giggles, LOL. Oh, I guess you're talking about because her hair is short or whatever. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I get what you said. Why you would say this was mostly for giggles. Okay, so that is the end of his theory. Okay, guys, we still have 16 people here in the chat. You guys are amazing. I love every single one of you guys. Okay. So overall, I like some of the things that Christopher talked about in his theory. He made some pretty good points, to some degree. However, overall, I'm going to say the theory doesn't work just for the simple fact of Stu being in a coma for 23 years and then automatically remembering everything. To me, that's a bit of a stretch. I really think that if Stu was in a coma, there's a really good chance that he doesn't remember anything. Could I be wrong? Sure. But it just would make more sense that way, especially with him getting electrocuted and all that stuff. I really just can't see Stu being in a coma for that long. And then when he does wake up, it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm Stu Macher again. I remember everything. And, I remember who I am. I remember what I did. I remember Billy, and stuff like that. And then another thing is, too, how does Stu know about Samantha? How would Stu know about Sam? In my opinion, Stu didn't even know that Billy he didn't know what Billy's motive was. He didn't know that Marine was screwing his dad. He didn't know that Marine was screwing Billy's dad. I'm sorry, in that final act when Billy brings it up, Stu's face is like shocked. So I have a hard time accepting Stu knowing Samantha after having a coma. Excuse me. I just think that is a bit of a stretch. And the parents, I'm not saying they wouldn't try to bail their son out, but the way that Christopher worded it, I just think it's just too convoluted. They would have to do that would have to be a lot to unpack, and I don't know if we want to do all that unpacking. I can see something as simple as he faked his death, he faked his pulse, and nobody, not even his parents, know he's alive. I don't know. No, not to crap on your theory, Christopher, when you watch this, you definitely did make some interesting points. But subsequently, I personally, for me, I can't get down with the whole coma thing, man. That's just a bit of a stretch. I would like to think Stu would have amnesia. I really do. Is there a possibility he might not have amnesia? Yeah, there's a possibility. But after 23 years, and then he just miraculously wakes up and it's just back to square one. I don't know. I don't know. And I agree to some degree about Richie killing Vince. I like the way you kind of went about that in terms of if Stu and Richie was working together and Richie saw Vince as a loose cannon who's going to get in the way of things, who's going to, maybe reveal too much. I can definitely, that could work. I can see, that working. And the reason why I see that working is we have to keep in mind too, according to Liv McKenzie, Vince was sharing some weird posts on social media. We don't know what those weird posts were, but you can make the imagination, So in closing, for Christopher Dunn's theory, there's some things I like. There's some things I've even discussed in videos and all that stuff that I do agree with, But subsequently, overall, I just can't buy Stu Macher being in a coma for 23 years and then miraculously waking up, and it's just it's a scream, baby. I can't see it. But hey, Christopher, Thank you for sending me that message. Thank you for sending your theory in. I greatly appreciate your opinion. I greatly appreciate your thoughts. And hey, man, who's to say that some of the things you said in this message might not come to fruition in Scream 7? It might. We might all get a lot of the things we want in Scream 7. Fingers crossed. So good stuff, Christopher. It was long, but we got through it. All right, so let me see some of you guys' comments. I know I'm behind. Val saying, no, Marcus, not Woodsboro. Going back to Hollywood, it's where the story truly begins and where Wes wanted Stu to come back. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I can see where you're going with that, Val. We did talk about that, and I'm not against it. I like it. I don't know. I mean, I also think I'm thinking in terms of Christina Carpenter as well. Because if she didn't go to New York, is she really going to show up in LA? That's how I'm thinking of it, which is why I think it kind of does have to go back to Woodsboro. Like, either one would be great, though. In all honesty, I'm not against either one of them. And given the fact that we know that, they've mirrored the first two films, Radio Silence I'm talking about, it wouldn't be a surprise if they mirrored Scream 3. Oh no, Jamie Hart saying I'm sick too, feel better, Dino. Yeah, guys, yeah, definitely get some rest, guys. Like, if you guys are sick and not feeling well, rest up. I'd rather you guys rested up and feeling well than, hanging out here but kind of like not feeling up to it or not just feeling good. I don't know. That just kind of makes me feel a certain type of way, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and showing all your love and support, on this late night hour. And Mayan, I see that you headed out. You have a great night and get some sleep, man. Thank you so much for your support and for the super chat. I will definitely catch you later. Ooh. Wow, two boys. Two boys saying we had snow the last 2 days. Okay, I'm going to zoom down here. Yeah, I agree, Val. I don't think it was Billy neither. I really don't. Jamie, I think this guy with the theories has too much time on his hands. Did the writers put this stuff in their final product or even intend to? I mean, maybe not, Jamie. I mean, I personally don't mind the long theory because I think so deeply about things. And sometimes when I'm doing a theory, it takes me hours to piece together exactly what I'm trying to accomplish in terms of what I'm trying to say and all that stuff. And I don't know why my other phone is picking up my voice. I'm not touching it. Give me a second, guys. That's weird. Okay, so back real quick. Had to take care of that. But yeah, like, I mean, listen, there's a lot of stuff I think in a Scream franchise that when you go back through these movies and you pick up on things that you didn't see before, you can make the case that maybe, the writers or whatever, they didn't intend to do something, but just because you don't intend to do something doesn't mean that the clue isn't there. So I don't mind the long theories. Val says, not jail, Marcus institutionalized. Again, that's why no one knows he's alive. Protected patient records. Not even Gail or Dewey could get a hold of those patient records. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very true as well. That's very true. But also, why Jail isn't out of the picture is because if his family paid for the court records to be concealed, we wouldn't know if he's in jail or not neither. If they pay for them documents to be concealed, most likely nobody would know if he's in jail or just institutionalizing him in a psych ward. So both of those work, in my opinion. Yeah, two boys. I remember Steven did that video about that. Yeah, I wonder who did that as well, because yeah, that was a major error, because whoever did that drawing had to be there to kill Hembry, because Hembry's body was found on the football post, on the goal post. But in that picture, it shows he died. It shows him dead, basically in the in his office. So yeah, I saw that. I think we know who it is. Right, Philip. Yeah, how would they have gotten a hold of Mrs. Loomis? I mean, being that Billy and Stu were good friends, it's not impossible to think that, the families didn't talk. I'm pretty sure they knew each other, especially Woodsboro seems anyway, being such close knit to a degree. Everybody kind of knows each other. I just feel like after the events, what would their reason be to talk to Mrs. Loomis? They would have animosity towards her. Your son basically encouraged our son to be a killer. What do I have to say to you? Memo Boy says, I love the idea of Nancy Loomis involved somehow. Hey, I mean, Nancy was a good killer. I mean, I just don't think she was involved with the Mocker family. I really don't. Very good question, two boys. Why wasn't Stu's clothes in a shrine? Oh, but that's because he's not dead. That's why, two boys. Val says, wow, and I thought and felt. Wait, Val says, wow, and I thought I left essays tonight and craving about these movies. LOL, yeah. Oh, yeah, I got lit up. Christopher and Alex both put me to work. I'm about to read Alex's now, and I'm just going to basically read Alex's entire theory, and then I'm just going to give my overall take on it, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am getting a little tired, and I want to have this wrapped up by 4 a.m. So I'm going to say I'm going to go another 25 minutes, and then I'm going to close it up for tonight. Right, exactly. See, but the reason why though, Val, I mean, no, Jamie Hart, sorry. But the reason why though, Jamie, is because the setting of Scream 2 did take place in 98. It took place 2 years after the events of Scream 1996, which is why he said that, Scream 2 took place in 1998. Yeah, it was released in 97, but the story did pick up 2 years later. Oh, yup, it's getting that time, guys. Oh. And I see Val, the spicy general, heading out for the night. Val saying, okay, people, this general needs to head to bed. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Hope you all have a fabulous day. Hey, Val, you get some good sleep, and thank you for always showing support. You know how much I got love for you, Val. And again, get some good rest, and we are definitely going to talk soon. I can't wait to bring you on for the Halloween franchise omnibus. We're going to actually do that not this upcoming week, but the following week or whatever. I'm going to make sure I put the streams together, though, this week so we can get some good promotion on them. Okay, everyone. So now I'm going to read Alex Beebe's theory. He sent me a message on Instagram a few weeks ago, and We are going to get to it here now before I wrap up the stream. Like I said, I'm just going to breeze through everything he has to say, and then I'm going to give my overall take and my overall feelings on his theory. And real quick, what's going on, Denisha? How you doing tonight? Saying good night, Val. Just waking up. I saw this on. Well, hey, thank you for joining, Denisha. Always good to have you around. And everyone, again, if you have not done so already, please do me a favor and shoot that like button. It definitely helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If we can get over 30 likes on this stream, I would be greatly appreciated, because that will help funnel it through the system and get some new viewers as well as some new subscribers. As well as, while I'm reading this last theory, if you have a burning question you want to ask me, super chats go to the front of the line. So again, guys, I greatly appreciate all your support, though. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. You guys are here hanging out with me, 15 of you. I love every single one of you guys. Like, honestly, it means a lot. It really does, especially after coming off of a 10-hour work shift. Okay, so let's get into Alex's theory here. But before I do that, I'm actually going to go in here real quick and turn this TV down because it's a little bit loud. Sounds like elevator music in the background. I don't mind it, but All right, there we go. A little upset. Just realized my remote to my TV is a little wonky right now. I'm gonna have to work my magic. Volume knob is a little busted up. I don't know why. Must have hit the deck and it probably popped out. Okay, so Jamie as well saying, good night all. I am off to Dreamland. Hey, Jamie, thank you again for stopping in. I greatly appreciate your support, and you get some good rest too. I will talk to you soon. Okay, everyone, so let's get into Alex's theory. Oh, man. He starts off by saying, big fan of your channel and your theories regarding Stu and Charlie still being alive. He says, I have a theory on Stu being alive inspired by what Craven Something Scary has said, and on your 2-part video about Stu attacking Gail instead of Quinn. I'll send it to you tomorrow as it is late where I am right now. I am on UK time. Gotcha. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's go down here. Okay, here we go. He says it's primarily about Stu, Billy, Richie, the cult, how Stu lived, and why he waited so long as he did, which is a major criticism to those who are against Stu returning, that those who are against Stu returning have. His arrangement with Richie and Amber and his plan for Sam, Jason, Greg, and Richie's family will also be touched upon. Now that I have seen your Charlie videos, I have an idea on how he can be worked in. I'll send it tomorrow, and then you can let me know what you think of it. Okay, so real quick first, guys, I got to go grab some water. I do. Okay. Back again. Oh. Ooh, that felt good. Oh, yeah. Cleared the airwaves. Let's go. Okay, so the first part of the theory I will give you, he says, is how he survived that night in 1996. Oh, snap. Give me 1 second. All right. So, sorry, guys. I had to plug this in real quick. Phone's dying. So, this. Stick. Yes, there we go. Oh, there we go. Just hold it like this for now. All right. So let's get back to it. Okay, so the first part of the theory I will give you is how he survived that night in 1996. Stu was stabbed 4 times and took a TV to the face. In my opinion, he either did die from that or was severely injured. He was electrocuted and he stopped moving after a bit. Anyway, regarding the theory, I believe that he was quickly taken to an ambulance, to another hospital, or a private facility. Let me see. To another hospital or private facility, was revived, and probably had to go through a ton of surgery to heal his many wounds. The family was neglectful, but part of them could not let Stu die, so they used their connections to fake his death. They paid off the coroner and the police. For example, Sheriff Burke. They let them have their victory with Billy. Okay. They could have switched out his body. Forged a death certificate, dental records, and fingerprints. They could have taken him out of town to be healed and somewhat rehabilitated. They could have foreshadowed the possibility of him surviving with Kirby's survival story and how Quinn faked her death. Okay. Second, let me try to posture this up. There we go. All right, so scoot over a little bit so I can get in camera. Okay, so officially, Stu was dead. Sorry about that. Just gonna have to probably hold it from this point on. But officially Stu is dead. Sydney and the others would have no reason to doubt that. That's the first part of the theory. Now, to truly understand why Stu waited this long, we need to talk about how Stu would definitely have evolved as character if he survived. A lot of people are concerned that if Stu were to return, he would not be the same as he was in the first movie. But that's only natural, as he would no longer be 17. He would be in his 40s. He's portrayed as Billy's muscle and as a comic relief. As such, he's not seen as anything else. Stu was not part of the scheme to get revenge on Sydney. He did it for fun, and he did it because he was loyal to Billy, and Billy took advantage of him. Excuse me. Therefore, his primary motive does not have to involve Sydney. It can be about anything. That is true. Like, say, Samantha Carpenter. Her being Billy's daughter would make her a person of great interest to him. We'll come back to this point later. In the wake of Billy's death, he has lost his closest friend. With fewer people to rely on, Stu may now be forced to adapt and sharpen his mind further. Billy could have been holding Stu back from being as smart as he could have been. He can no longer be the high school social party animal. That time of his life is over. Now, I'm not saying Stu turns into a genius, but he could get a lot smarter, especially in regards to manipulation and playing the long game, the latter of which would be a key theme for Stu. His recovery from his wounds and treatment would take a few years, hence his absence from 2 and maybe even 3. One could argue that he may have perhaps eventually discovered that Roman suggested to Billy to use him as a fall guy. So, despite Roman, he does not try to help him in any way and instead lets him fail. He might have initially had the idea to target Jill, but then obviously we all know what happened with her. Okay, so interesting. Um, so real quick, Two Boys and Their Scary Pops. Marcus, always enjoy your streams and passion for the theories. Heading out and have a great weekend all. Hey, thank you so much, Two Boys and Their Scary Pops. I greatly appreciate you stopping in, man, and you get some rest. I will catch you later. Okay, so now we start from this point. He could have instead been inspired by her plan to make use of the internet to get a following. So shortly after Scream 4, he discovers these online chat forums that had the idea to create a following, a family of his own that he could control. Who would look up to him and follow him? He is now to them what Billy was to him. In many ways, he wants to be like Billy. Over the years, he would have been the OG3. He would have seen the OG3 become more famous and experienced. And through observing the copycats coming their way, he would see that the two killer method is not working. He recognizes that they are not simple victims anymore. If he's going to come after them, he would need to have an airtight plan that none of them would see coming. Most of them plan for a year and then it blows up in their face. But instead, Stu would take his time with this. Another point of growth from Stu would be his ambitions. He not desire simply to get revenge. He's doing this for fun and to cause chaos. Okay. Okay, so real quickly, guys, I'm going to actually go let the puppies out. So give me 1 second, and then we're going to finish up. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you guys heard them crying in the background and stuff. They're probably hungry. Okay, so now let's get back to this. Yeah, threw me off for a second. Okay, yeah, he's doing this for fun and to cause chaos. Okay. His cult followers could be all across the country or world. He could want to orchestrate several Ghostface attacks purely to cause chaos and panic. It's not revenge that he might seek. Rather, he wants to create something that will allow him to have legacy as large as Billy's. He would want Billy's infamy. As Craven has pointed out, Stu is either forgotten about, dismissed, or mocked. Everyone talks about Billy, but not him. Not to the same degree anyway, and he can't stand it. So being that he's a narcissistic psychopath at heart, he created this online cult of his, a space where he can be praised and revered. He waited this long because this is no longer just about the OG3 for him. He has set out to achieve a much larger goal. Now, this is not to say that revenge for Billy is not part of his plan, because it is. Every mastermind killer always desires some form of revenge, no matter how small. 1 and 3 had revenge against Sydney for her mother's actions. 2 and 6 had revenge of a killer's parent. 4 had misguided revenge on Sydney because the killers always felt overshadowed and undervalued, and it can be argued in 5 that Richie was seeking a form of revenge against Hollywood for ruining the franchise that he loved so much. Stu targeting the legacy characters could be the revenge part of his plan for their involvement in Billy's death. The other part of his plan could be to corrupt and recruit Sam. Let's say that Stu is indeed the one who killed Dewey and attacked Gale. He could kill Dewey to show them what it felt like to lose the person they loved the most. He taunts Gale on the phone and says, "How does it feel to lose the only man who ever loved you? How does it feel to know that you weren't there for him in the end?" He wants them to know the pain he felt of losing Billy, the only person he cared for, and he's projecting his own guilt onto Gale because he was not able to be there for Billy when he met his end. Now, an alternative to this is that to prevent premature exposure of his operations, he delegated the responsibility of killing Dewey to Amber, so he might not have killed Dewey himself, but the kill was done under his instruction or at his recommendation. Stu's relationship to Richie is also important here. He could be seen as he could be seen no, he could have been one of Stu's earliest recruits and top followers. Richie could have had a devout respect for Stu. He got mad with Tara on the phone for leaving Stu out. He shot a sneaky look at Sam for referring to Stu as Billy's friend, not by name, and he could have done the both hands over the head stab technique as an homage to someone he might consider a mentor and second father of sorts. Richie being idolized in the group would also explain why people like Jason and Greg want to finish his movie. They knew the truth about Richie and they did not believe Quinn's conspiracy, which means that they were most likely in the same circles. In short, Richie could have been Stu's protege and a highly valued member of his group that in short, Richie could have been Stu's protege and a highly valued member of his group. The collection, his stab knowledge, and being the son of a police officer make him very valuable in terms of connections and knowing certain ways to stay ahead of the police. Richie loved the franchise and the original Killing, so Stu may have taken a liking to him. As one of his earliest recruits, Richie could help him build everything up alongside Charlie. And he would have brought in Amber, who Stu could have also taken an interest in because she resides in his old house. While Stu might not care about Stab 8 like Richie, it would have been an excuse to remove both Dewey and Judy, which is something that Stu would want. Also, Vince's death, which he could benefit from. Vince's death would mean that Leslie is presumably without an heir to get the family fortune, allowing Stu to swoop in and take what's left to more fully fund his operation. He sacrificed his own nephew to do this. Disagree. Dewey's death would hurt Sydney and Gale. Judy's death would allow him to put a corrupt person he has under his thumb into power and allowing him indirect control of the town's law enforcement. Excuse me. One of her deputies could work for him and taken a long time to reach her house on purpose. Okay. Now, if Stu killed Dewey, he could have snuck into town, went to hospital with Richie, and searched a private floor with him for Tara. Amber would have been a few floors below them to cut power to the floor. If Stu was not involved then, they possibly did it on their own under his instruction. He could have called the house phone at the end to get an update if they were done, yet Richie did give a bit of a strange look when the phone rang, so it's possible he fears Stu as much as he respects him. Stu could be the type of leader that acts as a charismatic and fun friend one minute and then the most feared person in the room the next. That's a way they could make Stu terrifying as a leader. Any second, he could kill anyone. The most important thing, however, is to discuss his interest in Sam. Now, initially, he might have suspected her for being Billy's daughter, as his friend would have. Wait, what? Hold on. The most important thing, however, is to discuss his interest in Sam. Now, initially, he might have suspected her being Billy's daughter, as his friend would have knowledge of Billy's activities. These suspicions would be confirmed thanks to Gail's book in 6, increasing his interest. Now, Stu may not be aligned with Richie's family since they did kill Jason, Greg. Since they did kill Jason and Greg, Stu might have opted to back off, and instead he opted to use Sam to eliminate the family, which of course she did. He could have taken advantage of the chaos and confusion to coordinate an attack on Gail, who was now his primary target. Alternatively, he could have just taunted her on the phone. I do have an angle which could suggest that could suggest to some degree he could have assisted Richie's family. Okay, so we got a little bit more here. Stu could have helped pay for Ethan and Quinn to get into Blackmore. He could have helped the two of them mess around with the roommate agreement. He could have helped the family recreate new identities and not be recognized as Richie's family. Quinn calling in the park could have been a diversion to let Stu get to Gail. Killing Gail what could have been a mutual interest. Her latest book, no doubt, slandered Richie in the eyes of his family, which is why Quinn would take credit for the attack. Him using the word punish like Bailey did in the phone calls would point to him having a similar secondary motivation. To some extent, Richie was obviously a pawn to Stu, but Richie could have also been a loyal protege to Stu. Maybe Stu was like a second father to him, and he saw Richie like family, and now obviously Stu's main motivation is not vengeance for Richie. His plan to recruit Sam could partly be an effort to replace him. Maybe he waited so long to target Sam since he only had recent confirmation of her lineage. He had Richie track her down and use 6 as an opportunity to test her killer instinct. He may want to recruit her to recreate the dynamic that he had with her father, but this time he's the one who's in control. He may not have fully loved Billy or fully understood the abusive nature of the relationship. However, he was dependent on him for validation. Creating a group of his own lets him feel the power that Billy once held over him. He felt many things for Billy: dependence, resentment, jealousy, and to a degree, hatred. And he'd be projecting onto Sam, treating her as an extension of her father. His revenge against the survivors could be for taking away his primary source of validation. This could be Stu's twisted way of possessing the destructive relationship he and Billy had. Part of him may have loved Billy, but he also may have many negative feelings about him at the same time. He was dependent on Billy one way or another. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So to repeat that real quick, it says part of him may have loved Billy, but he also may have many negative feelings about him at the same time. He was dependent on Billy one way or another. The relationship between Billy and Stu is very complex. One that, on the one hand, it is a close friendship. On the other hand, it is abusive, one-sided arrangement. This could be a great opportunity to explore Stu's conflict about Billy. The impact of what happened could have left him conflicted about the relationship. Part of him built the cult to honor Billy's legacy and continue it, but part of him surely wants to one up Billy at the same time because of how many people don't respect him and see him as a laughable afterthought. As for how Charlie could be involved, he could have been monitoring the situation from a distance. One of his followers could have revived Charlie and healed his wounds. News then breaks of Charlie's involvement, and Stu takes an interest in him. So he does for Charlie what his parents did for him 15 years prior. He uses their similarities to warm himself to Charlie and manipulate him. He makes Charlie feel essential, special over time. He creates a Reddit thread and recruit many followers, Richie among them. The online stuff could be why Stu keeps Charlie around. I do agree with that. He could have been in New York to monitor Sam and Tara and identify Richie's family as a complication if Stu and the others are not working with them, since Charlie could have partly assisted Stu in building the online following. Maybe Kirby was investigating it and found something familiar, something off, something that reminded her of Charlie. She then fixates on it and becomes obsessed with finding out more about the cult and exposing it. This gets her dismissed from the FBI 2 months before 6 starts. An old contact of the FBI could have notified her about Jason and Greg's death, and after looking through their online activity, she inserts herself into the investigation and pretends to still be with the FBI, trying to figure out these killings are linked to the cult. She could have been tracking Charlie to NYC, but not fully know that it was indeed Charlie. Thoughts? Okay, wow, a lot to unpack here, Alex. You did warn me. Okay, so overall, I mean, it's not a bad theory to have. I will say I do think it's a bit convoluted. I don't think Stu would part ways with all his money like that just to basically create this cult when he wouldn't have to. He wouldn't have to throw no money at these people. The reason why is because they're already big fans of him and the work that him and Billy did in the original. He wouldn't have to pay him nothing. And I just feel like in terms of like, I mean, there's some good points you made, like in terms of like Stu possibly faking his death. I'm not saying, I mean, I agree that he could have faked his death. I just think there's ways to do it that makes more sense. I don't know about like how can I say this? Like it's difficult. Like I don't know if Stu would be doing all this just to basically recapture the feeling of the relationship of him and Billy's. I honestly think he would be doing this solely for the purpose that nobody remembers him. This is about legacy. This is about being remembered. This isn't about him and Billy's relationship. And the reason why it's not about Billy's and him relationship is because he's tired of being overshadowed by Billy. Now, you did mention that part about him being overshadowed by Billy, but I don't think I just don't think like the whole like you said his motive wouldn't be revenge. I believe it would be revenge because nobody remembers him. Nobody appreciates him. You know, to me, him and Billy's chapter is over, and he would know that. Now, in terms of trying to recruit Samantha, I think it's the other way around. I think Samantha found him. But I agree with that theory that they could potentially work together, or Stu would try to get her to work with him. I'm not against that theory at all. You know, there's a lot of stuff in here, man. And, I will say this, and I'll leave it at this, Alex. I like some things. Some things I do think is a little bit of a stretch. But that's what theories are made for. We're going to stretch sometimes. We're going to be outlandish. You know, that's the point of having fun with these theories and all that stuff. You know, so thank you for the message and thank you for your thoughts, man. I greatly appreciate it. You know, it was definitely a lot, but we got through it. And again, you know, just like with Chris, you hit on some things. There were some things for me that kind of missed. At the end of the day, though, I enjoyed breaking down you guys' thoughts, and I think that you guys definitely have some interesting theories. You guys have some interesting pieces that could work if it's all placed together properly. So again, Christopher Dunn and Alex Beebe. If I'm gonna say Alex, I seen you actually just messaged me on Instagram 30 minutes ago. So if you are catching this live stream, or if when you do catch this live stream, I'll send you the link and all that stuff. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for your thoughts. It was definitely interesting. And you guys inspired me to want to do this again, to want to hold another live stream talking about you guys' theories, like subscribers, my loyal subscribers who show up here at 4 o'clock in the morning and watch me talk about horror movie content. Anything you guys have a theory about, whatever movie it is, again, I'm on board to talk about. I really enjoyed doing this for the last 2.5 hours. It was a lot to process, but it definitely worked, and it was a great time. I had a great time breaking this stuff down. Again, there's a lot of stuff. I will say this, kind of just make it a little shorter the next time, because all this is a lot of information to process. And that goes for both Christopher and Alex. Just make it a little bit shorter next time, because it is a little bit convoluted. But I appreciate you guys' thoughts. I mean, you guys both went in this direction and that direction and in that way and in this way. Like, you guys went all over the damn universe. And I respect that, because I like thinking outside the box. So again, fellas, great work, great theories. Again, we're not always going to hit. We're not always going to hit. We're not always going to miss on these theories. In between for me, but I enjoyed breaking down you guys' thoughts for sure. And I enjoyed everyone who stopped in here tonight to watch this stream and show support to the channel and, just hang out. It's a late night. As you guys, I'm pretty sure can tell, I am starting to waver a little bit, get a little sleepy, but this was a great time. I really enjoyed doing this, and I look forward to doing more streams like this. So again, everyone, if you guys have a theory that you guys want me to touch on, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on my email. My socials are in the link in the description. Let me know what you guys think. But I will say, please just make it a little bit shorter. That's all I can ask for, because this was a lot, But at the end of the day, it was good content, and I'm glad that I can touch on it here and provide this as another source of content for you guys all to watch. I definitely did have a good time. Okay, so I'm going to get to some more of you guys' comments before I wrap it up. And Denisha, I want to answer your question real quick. Denisha asks, Marcus, I wonder how Amber got into Stu's house or live in it and never saw Amber's, and that we never saw Amber's family. I know she mentioned that they moved. I think they moved there when she was like 12 or something like that. And then she read about the history of Stu Macher's house, and that's when she became obsessed with it ever since, in her words and stuff. So I mean, I would like to think it was maybe up for sale. Maybe her parents decided, they obviously bought it. I know a lot of people out there think she could possibly be related to Stu herself. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. We'll have to wait and see, but I think that basically how she got into Stu's house, Denisha, is her family. I think her family bought the house. Why they would want to buy the house, don't ask me, especially after the history, but yeah, that's what I think is what happened with that. Yep, that's right, Memo Boy. That is right. Amber said her family bought the house. She was upset ever since her family bought the house. She was obsessed with it. Yep. Very, very true. Very, very true. Well, guys, this was definitely a good time, but I am going to wrap this stream up right now. It's, we're coming to an end. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who stopped in and showed support and chatted it up with me here, and just had a great time tonight. You guys, like, honestly, this is a late night stream, and I know, even though it's a weekend, some of us might not like staying up super late, and the fact that you guys took time out of your late night to hang out with me, Marcus. I shot him 6 times here on the channel. I'm so humbled, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Honestly, I am humbled and grateful for everything that is going on with this channel. I am humbled that we are over 1,000 subscribers. I am humbled that we are monetized now, so I can offer more things, like in terms of like memberships eventually and all that good stuff. Like, I'm just so blessed the direction that this channel is heading, and you guys all make it happen. I couldn't be more blessed and grateful for you all, honestly. So everyone, give yourselves a pat on the back. Great stream tonight, great conversation. I love every single one of you guys. Everybody get some rest, and I will catch you all later. Much love to you guys.
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube or movie channels.
I shot him 6 times.